What's up, YouTube? This is JP Panther back with another video, and today's video is gonna be I already had the Phase 1 movie. I did the video of the Phase 1 movie ranking from best to worst to best, best to worst. And this is gonna be the same thing, but it's gonna be with the Phase 2 movies. I told you I was gonna do it part 1, part 2, part 3, and right now this video is part 2. So let's get into it. So I've ranked them, I've listed them to make sure that I actually get everything right. So I want to make sure I actually know what I'm talking about and make sure I have all my thoughts written out before I speak. So, okay, so we're going to start off with the worst to best. And we're going to start off with the worst one, Thor: The Dark World. That movie is trash. That's the worst MCU movie ever. Let's just be honest. Because the movie was really, really pointless because it was all about the ether. It's all about him going back to Asgard, taking Loki after the Avengers attack. Then they do all this stupid crap, unnecessary. He's with Jane Foster, and she has the ether in her. And then of course they fight the Dark Elves, and the Dark Elves want the ether, and they have to bring Jane Foster to Asgard to remove it. And of course the Dark Elves kills Thor's mother, destroys, but not destroy Asgard, but kill a lot of people and stuff like that. And of course, they got to go back to Earth and, fight the leader of the Dark Elves. And then Thor does all that stupid crap where he fights and beats them up and they teleport and stuff like that. I mean, the movie's trash. I mean, let's just be honest. The movies are trash. It's a waste of time. And really, it's just, okay, this whole entire thing was to set up like one of the Infinity Stones. Was it the Power Stone? I forget the exact stone what it was, but the movie is terrible. It's trash. I'm sorry. Dark World I would never buy. I will never buy. But it's just it was pointless because it was all about him trying to get rid of the ether, but then the Dark Elf takes the ether to destroy the planet, and Thor is running around with the Vormir and hitting him, and then Natalie Portman does the machine and teleports him and destroys him. And that's pretty much it in Dark World. It's really a waste of time. It's a waste of your energy. And of course in the end, Loki, transforms into his father to trick Thor, say, Thor, you can go out there and blah blah blah. But then he sits on the throne, and pretty much Loki is ruling Asgard while Thor is away. And then, of course, in Ragnarok, you guys kind of know what happens. So that's pretty much it for Thor: The Dark World. It's a trash movie. I would not see it. Again, it's not the worst movie ever, but for the MCU movie, it is the worst MCU movie out of there. And I'm going to be honest with you. The next one is going to be number 5, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is also trash, too, because the reason why Iron Man 3 was trash is because you can't sit here and pump up the Mandarin in all these movie trailers like, oh my god, we're going to get the Mandarin, we're going to get the 10 magical rings, we're going to get an Asian Mandarin. But instead they gave you an actor, and I'm like, that was some BS. That's pretty much a middle finger to all of us comic book fans. And I still can't really remember the plot of Iron Man as much. It's just like Iron Man 3, it's pretty much him fighting the Mandarin, but then you find out that he's not the real Mandarin, and they find out that there's his jealous employee who pretty much Tony Stark took his idea and stuff like that, and he wants to become the Mandarin and start playing all these stupid games, and it was literally a waste of time. It really, Iron Man 3, it's still one of the worst MCU movies, but it is definitely, I'll say it's the second worst MCU movie. The third worst MCU movie is probably Thor: The Dark World is the first one, is the worst MCU movie. Iron Man 3 is the second worst MCU movie. Incredible Hulk is the third worst worst movie in the MCU. So Iron Man 3, the reason why it gets a F is because of the Mandarin. If you would have put in an Asian actor outshining Robert Downey, and he does the good job, and he does the 10 magical rings. It's like, Jackie Chan Adventures with Shendu with the 10 talismans and stuff like that. If you were going to really go in depth with the Mandarin and really have him go crazy, start war crimes and, become a warlord and stuff like that with magic, sorcerer, with the 10 magic rings, then okay, cool, whatever. But again, it was just a troll. So Iron Man 3 is number 5. Number 4 is Ant-Man. I still like Ant-Man. The problem with Ant-Man is just like, he's okay. You know what I mean? He's just not that guy. Again, I like Ant-Man. I enjoy it, but, it was a fun, fun family type movie after Age of Ultron. So Ant-Man is not as much a say. I mean, typical origin movie. He fights Falcon, then he fights Yellow Jacket, and of course the villain has to look like the hero, and of course the hero beats the villain and rise up and beat the villain, and then of course again, it's just your typical Marvel origin. Your typical Marvel formulaic origin movie. Ant-Man's not a bad movie. It's just Ant-Man's okay. Ant-Man's just above average. It's fine, it's enjoyable, but it's not like something to really write home about. And of course, at the last post-credit scene, it sets up the Wasp, where she has all the suits and everything like that in the last post-credit scene, and that's pretty much it for Ant-Man. And then number 3 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. The reason why I'm putting this on my number 3 because I feel like Age of Ultron is the worst Avengers movie. If you're gonna compare all the Avengers movie, I thought this was the worst among all of them because I still think Endgame is the best, Infinity War second, the first Avengers third, Captain America: Civil War. I know it's just in the Captain America movie, but it's an Avengers movie, and then Age of Ultron's at the bottom. The reason why Age of Ultron's at the bottom, again, I give it like a B minus. Because the problem is, when I saw it in theaters, it was enjoyable. I still like it, but it still kind of felt like, you could tell a lot of studio interference happened with Age of Ultron. You could just feel the studio interference. Because the first one made so much money, and of course Disney and everybody else is like, they didn't let Joss Whedon have the full creative control like he did with the first Avengers. And you could tell, like, this Avengers just felt like Ultron, it has daddy issues, and he just wants to blow up the world and kill everybody because Tony doesn't like me, and I'm just gonna blow up the world and kill everybody. And of course the Avengers have to unite and stop Ultron and his army, and to make sure that Ultron doesn't kill everybody. And I don't know, it didn't feel as, I still have it on Blu-ray, but it just didn't feel like the first Avengers. It just felt like, okay, this felt like a generic summer blockbuster movie, and with a lot of CGI and stuff like that. It's like, don't get it wrong, the visuals were all good and amazing, the sci-fi effects and all that, but it's just like, it just didn't have that same spark as the first one. So that's why, to me, Age of Ultron, it's not bad, but it's a watchable movie. It's just certain things you could cut out here and there, but it's not the worst MCU movie ever. For Avengers movie, it is the worst Avengers movie ever. But again, Age of Ultron, I enjoyed it. I give it like a B minus. And of course, at the very, very end, everyone goes their separate ways. Like, Thor goes to Asgard, Captain America is doing whatever, Tony Stark is doing whatever. Well, everyone pretty much separates. And then at the last post-credit scene, Thanos grabs the gauntlet and says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And that's pretty much the last post-credit scene. That's pretty much it sets up the Infinity Saga. It keeps on continuing here and there and here and there, and stuff like that. And of course, Age of Ultron, you have the vision of Thanos destroying the world and stuff like that in Age of Ultron. And they introduce Claw, they introduce Vibranium and stuff like that, but overall it's a B minus movie. And number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's probably one of my favorite MCU movies, the first one. Because the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, it was new, it was something different. They were out of space. It kind of had that Star Wars kind of feeling. Peter's going through all this other stuff. And then he's human, he's half celestial and stuff like that. He's taken away from Earth and he goes to the outer space and stuff like that. And he's pretty much an outlaw. Him dancing and stealing the Infinity Gauntlet and causing all these problems. And then you're having, the Guardians of the Galaxy uniting. Well, not in the beginning, but they pretty much go to jail. They fight each other, confrontation, stuff like that. And it was something different. It was something cool. I like the outer space aura and the ambiance around it. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I really liked the movie. I really enjoyed it. Of course, the villain was very generic, so that's why I give it a 9 out of 10 because of the villain, Ronan. Ronan was a generic, stupid villain. But overall, everything else was pretty good. I enjoyed the first one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was something cool. I thought it was something different. And I thought it was something kind of interesting that was more cosmic, something more outer space, which I like that type of space. I like those type of movies. I like it when they go outer space and stuff like that and go on adventures. And then you have the most dangerous outlaws uniting together as the Guardians of the Galaxy. I really like the movie. Again, it's just my perspective. I really like the first one. I just really enjoyed it to this day. So that's why Guardian Galaxy is on my number 2 list. Number 1, it's going to probably shock a lot of you. It's going to be Captain America Winter Soldier. I think Captain America Winter Soldier is a 10 out of 10. I think that's a perfect, to me, it's almost like a perfect movie almost. It's a Captain America, the first Avenger. I enjoyed it. But the second one, Winter Soldier, it was just so badass. It was so cool. Captain America is jumping off a building, landing with a black man shield. Bam! It was freaking amazing. It was like the greatest thing ever. You know, him destroying, you know, the Air Force and stuff like that. Then they had Hydra, and then you had the Secretary trying to kill Nick Fury, and then you have Black Widow getting, you know, shot, and then you have the Winter Soldier, you know, killing everybody, and it's like, oh my God, that's the Winter Soldier. And of course he grabs the shield. It's a lot of fighting, a lot of action. It felt like a really comic book-ish movie, and this is the first movie that the Russo brothers actually did. Because the first Avengers, I enjoyed it. But Captain America's Winter Soldier just felt so amazing. It's the movie that made people love Captain America. Because they made him so badass and cool that it just felt so, I'm not going to say realistic, but it just felt like you could connect to him a lot more. It just felt like boom. You know what I mean? Then you had Falcon. He was still he wasn't Captain Falcon. He was still just Falcon. You know what I mean? Just a sidekick, whatever. But overall, they made him, Sam Wilson, a badass. You know what I mean? They made everybody, Nick Fury. They made the chick that's Nick Fury's agent. They made her badass. They made Black Widow badass. Like, they just made everyone so cool and badass. And they had to fight against the Winter Soldier and take down Hydra, because Hydra was pretty much going to use military weapons and weapons of mass destruction to take over the world and wipe out nations, countries, and continents, so that they would have to use Hydra in order to feel protected. You would have to bow down to Hydra. And that was pretty much the whole thing, where they were pretty much going to be a global dictatorship with weapons of mass destruction, stuff like that. And then they had to kill the Winter Soldier. Pretty much they never kill him. They beat him because they beat him. And Captain America, of course, fights Bucky, and they fall into a river, and then Bucky saves Cap, and, you know, pretty much he saves Cap, and then he just goes on his way and be solo. And that scene sets up Captain America's Civil War. And of course they set up the other Easter eggs, and, you know, with Age of Ultron and stuff like that, with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and stuff like that. But overall, Winter Soldier is a 10 out of 10. It's my number 1 MCU movie out of the Phase 2. I still think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's a really great movie, and it's one of the best MCU movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think. These are my top 10. No, these are my best to worst MCU movies from beginning to end. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Rate and like the video. Subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace, and have a great day, and take care.